Greetings, Sentinels fans! I'm determined to get this guy done, so let's go, go, go! Part 2 of the missions right here. Now we learn about the remaining 12 missions that I didn't have time for last time. If you've never seen that first video, then what the heck are you doing here? Go watch it. The rest of you, let's get started. We will now receive an Infusion of Power. This mission is real easy to accomplish. You just need to have 2 heroes, and only 2 heroes, in the battle zone of the mission's carrier. Then, one of those heroes will deal themselves 4 damage, and you will become the apex of humanity. This reward grants your hero 3 minor benefits. They are hardened to hurt, receiving 1 less damage from all sources. They become stronger, dealing an extra point of damage from their attacks, and they heal a single point of damage every time they use a power. None of these benefits are amazing, but the combination makes for a stronger single hero, and one who is much harder to kill, especially if they get to use a lot of powers. Now, many of the reward benefits I have and I'm going to go over affect the entire suite of targets under that hero's control. Not so with this. So other reward targets, or target-dependent heroes, will not get as much benefit from it. Still, solid benefits and easy to get earns this mission a 3. Next, we have Nature's Compulsion, and I will say this is one of the few missions worth having just in its mission form. Nature's Compulsion asks their player to jump from battle zone to battle zone. Each time they make this jump, a point is added to this card. Make the jump 4 times and you unlock the reward. However, the fun thing is that it allows your heroes to make the jump at the end of their turn as well as the beginning. This allows for some sneaky actions, since you can do stuff in the other battle zone and have your hero jump out to avoid danger or to guard their battle zone. Some of my favorite memories of this involve Fnatic entering into one battle zone, punching a guy in the face, and then leaving. It's like she can fly or something. And you can still have fun when you get this reward. Primordial Boon increases damage dealt by all targets that hero controls, heals them all by 1 every turn they have, and allows them to jump to the other battle zone if they so choose. I'm not going to say the benefits here are amazing. They're more fun than practical, but they are certainly good enough to net a 3. Now it is time to Orchestrate the Void. This one pains me a bit because I love the reward, but I hate the mission. This one asks you to play support. Whenever you, or effects in your area, cause another player to draw a card, play a card, or use a power, then this card gets a token. Get 3 to 5 tokens on this card and it flips. Now, if you have seen my video about Captain Cosmic, you already know my opinion about support heroes, and can probably figure out that I struggle with this mission. With the exception of maybe 1 hero, there are no supports that offer lots of this kind of help on short notice. The rest requires setup, which means they require time, which means they require protection, because there are lasers, fires, and moons flying everywhere. Now you can help this mission along with incapacitated abilities, but it is still 1 token a turn. However, get those support actions in, and you get one of my favorite rewards. The Virtuosos of the Void all come in from beyond the grave to help you out. At the end of that player's turn, all heroes there draw a card, then 1 may play a card, then 1 may deal 2 damage, then all heroes heal 2. Count it, 4 support actions for free, and they are all excellent ones as well. I mean, there's a Team Leader Tachyon, a Sub-Dominant, a Pistol Shot, and a Cleansing Downpour all happening at once every turn. I love this card so much, but gosh darn it do I have a hard time with its mission. If the mission were easier, it would be a 5. Because the mission is so hard for me, I would give it a 3. So I guess I'll split the difference and give it a 4? Sure, why not? I'll leave it as a 4 until someone yells at me. And here's the one, the big one, the grand equalizer. I'm talking, of course, about Shattering Blow. I'm sure many of you specifically seek out this mission because of how great the reward is. This mission is laughably easy. It asks you to deal 12 damage to OblivAeon on any turn, and the carrier doesn't even have to be in the same battle zone as the guy. You can have someone just carry it and wait for the 2nd or 3rd phase. Regardless of any of the missions you are doing, you are still being asked to deal hundreds of points of damage in a short amount of time. 12 in 1 turn, and it not even mattering which turn it is? That's something you can be doing anyways. Of course, now that I said it, someone's gonna try and prove me wrong and defeat OblivAeon without dealing 12 or more damage a turn. Anyways, do this damage and you knock off one of the OblivAeon shards. In the lore, these things are responsible for giving powers to Proletariat, Captain Cosmic, and Infinitor, as well as powering up the Void Guard. It carries a lot of power. When you have the shard, you need to discard a card at the start of your turn in order to activate it. When it is active, that hero, and every target with them, gets a damage boost equal to the amount of devastation tokens in play. So at minimum, this is a +0, but you will easily have almost guaranteed a good boost. Have 3 tokens, all your attacks get a +3. Have 5 tokens, and you get a +5. Have 10 tokens, and every single one of your attacks will have an additional 10 damage stacked on top of them. You can be hitting in excess of 20, 30, or 60 damage in a short amount of time, and this boost stays through the whole round. So passing off powers and card plays through card rewards, card effects, or incapacitation abilities can make you an even bigger terror on the field. However, this card isn't perfect. It does have some flaws. First issue, you know the power boost you get towards your enemies? Well, they get the same bonus to you. So if the bad guys get any shots off, you will either have a severely wounded hero or a dead one. The shard carrier will need protection. Second, if a hero gets incapacitated, then your next hero can retrieve the shard. However, you can't activate it until the start of your turn, so you have to spend a turn to retrieve it and then play it. Then wait a whole round before you can activate it again. So you have to spend a full round to make use of the shard. A lot can happen in a single round during an OblivAeon game. Third, and here's the real kicker, even if the shard carrier is killed, the effect of the shard stays active until that player's turn. That means if you lost your hero early in the villain cycle, your replacement hero will still have a huge damage boost against them. If you are unlucky, you can lose a ton of shard holders before you even get the opportunity to reclaim it. Scions, Aeon Men, Mission Villains, Stage 3 OblivAeon extra card plays. Your hapless hero will be walking into a slaughterhouse until that player's turn begins and the shard effects ends. So to reiterate, protect the dang shard bearer. Use everything at your disposal to keep the fire away from them. So yeah, there is a huge benefit to having the shard as it can make you win the game very quickly. But using the shard is a high stakes game. Regardless, I do think the benefits heavily outweigh the drawbacks, enough that it still gets a 5 from me. But now we are going to summon the Colosseum. Spoilers, this mission gets a solid meh from me. It's easy enough. You were trying to get 5 points on the card, and you get them in similar ways that you get favor when facing Karga Warfang. Either deal 2 damage to multiple targets, deal 4 damage to one target, or destroy a target to get a point. And any hero in the battle can get these points, not just the mission holder. This can end up earning you more than 1 point for a single action if it applies. You'll likely accomplish this without thinking about it too much. Your reward is your own personal Bloodsworn exhibition. Karga and her gladiators decide to help you and go out and destroy up to 6 targets that have 7 or less health. Then you place this on a hero deck of your choosing in either battle zone. Note that it says destroy, not damage. This means that, on the one hand, it bypasses damage reduction. On the other hand, if a target has more than 7 hit points, then this does nothing to them. This makes this card ideal for killing Aeon Men and Mission Villains, not quite as effective towards Scions, and almost useless against OblivAeon himself, unless you feel like doing a funny finisher. Though the image of Karga Warfang knocking out OblivAeon is certainly one I would like to see. Maybe we can get Adam to draw a cover for that. And yeah, its usefulness as a reward is too minor for me to give it any higher than a 1. Next, we enter the digital age. If you ever wondered what Evil Omnitron's ideal world looks like, here it is. At the end of the player's turn, they reveal the top card of their deck. Then they may either discard that card, or choose a card in their hand to discard in its place. If the discarded card was an equipment, congratulations, the mission flips. This is pretty easy to accomplish since, as I said last week, most heroes have at least one equipment to work with. Not all, but most. For doing this mission, you get Omni Unity. Not to be confused with Freedom 6 Unity, Omni Unity turns all the equipment cards belonging to that hero into targets, imbued Vitality style. But then, at the end of that player's turn, every single target in that play area may deal a point of damage to a target. You can spread around the damage for pinpoint targeting, or you can focus down on a single enemy for a big hit. This naturally gets much better if there are damage boosts in play, since it will multiply the damage sent out. However, Omni Unity is a double-edged sword. She can deal a lot of damage, but now your equipment can be destroyed, robbing you of your setup. And since there is a lot of area damage being tossed around, you can very easily lose your stuff. Unlike the OblivAeon shard, I don't think the benefits quite make up for the drawbacks, but it can still be a good source of damage. I'm giving it a 2. Now it is time to meet the final champion. This is another easy one. At the end of that hero's turn, you simply need more hero targets than villain targets in that battle zone. This can be pretty easy to get by either just moving the carrier to a less active battle zone, killing a bunch of bad guys, or just having a bunch of hero targets in an area, or a combination of all three. I'm not picky. Do this and you will get Cursor, a bit of a combination of Parse and Captain Cosmic. Which, if you didn't know, Cursor comes from the Latin word for runner, and they were used for messengers, honored servants, or watchmen in Roman or medieval times. Drive-by history. Cursor is one of the rewards that I think most other players like, but I don't particularly care about. She has 2 effects. One is that she blocks the first damage dealt to a target in her area, reducing the attack by 4. This is a decent defense, giving you a lot of potential protection, but only from one attack. I frequently have to choose if it is better for Cursor to get hurt or her hero. The other, equally notable effect is that it increases the damage dealt by non-character hero cards. This means she will increase damage dealt by reward heroes and whatever extra targets you bring into play. This can be amazing for target-based heroes, or if you just have a lot of rewards out. And this boost is to every applicable target in the battle zone, not just that hero's play area. So if Haka has Cursor in play, Unity is still getting the benefit. My issue though is simply frequency of usefulness. There just simply aren't that many target-based heroes, and not all of them are there for damage purposes. So unless you have a lot of rewards handy, I find Cursor a bit lacking. Still, I think she is useful enough and easy enough to acquire to get a 3. And now for an emergency Vegas visit. Time for the last wager. Every hero in the zone can discard a card if they choose. If they do, they draw a card. If 2 or more one-shots are drawn this way, then you get your reward. Easy enough. Might take a round or 2, but it's not too bad. Your reward is meager winnings. And no, the card is not kidding. Remember in my overview video where I said this card can be very useful? Well, I found out less than a week later that I was wrong. The digital game used to have this card work the way I described it in the overview, but the game has been patched and now it works a bit differently. It gives you 1 point of healing per turn to any single target, which is a bit of a sad amount even in a classic game. But if no heroes heal this way, you can flip a mission and remove this card from the game. The issue is that this is a mandatory healing, and it will not let you try and heal any target that is already at full health. Every single target in the battle zone you are in has to be fully healed in order to flip a mission card. How often do you think your heroes are at full health in OblivAeon games? I'm going to guess and say not often. Maybe you can futz with battle zone lineups so that a hero group is fully healed in one area, including the card carrier, but that will take some effort. With the old interpretation, this would have been a 3. Now, it's a depressing 1. We will now visit the nation in ruins. Remember Final Champion? Well, this is about as easy to accomplish. Instead of having heroes outnumber villains in this battle zone, the heroes in this battle zone have to outnumber the villains and other non-hero targets in the other battle zone. So there are similar strategies for completing this mission to how you complete that one. Flip the mission and you get El Mejor Legado. Argentina's greatest legacy simply increases damage dealt by heroes in that play area, boosting the power of the mission's owner and whatever targets they command. Then he deals a small amount of damage at the end of that turn. He differs from Cursor in that he only affects hero targets in his area, not the whole battle zone, but he boosts the main hero, which Cursor doesn't. He's a solid choice for any hero looking to do a bit extra. I'm giving him a 3. And now it's time to face the Red Menace. This evil, absolutely not zero, deals payback damage once a turn when he is hit. Though that can hurt the bad guys too, if they are too happy with their area of effect damage. At the end of the hero's turn, he deals all non-villain targets 1 point of burning. Beat him up, and you get the Everyman. This is an alternate universe version of Paul Parsons, but he has characteristics we recognize from Proletariat. He has 2 effects. Whenever he is hit, he presumably spawns another clone, and his player draws a card. And at the end of that player's turn, Everyman deals a target an amount of damage equal to the amount of cards in that player's hand. This means that he can have an attack of varying strength, from 0 if you have no cards, or 40 if you have your whole deck in your hand. Needless to say, he can make a pretty sizable dent in your enemy's health bars if you have heroes that are good at drawing cards. I like him, so I'm giving him a 4. Next, we have Time and Time Again. This is another easy mission. This one asks you to shuffle a combined 12 hero cards from the hero trashes to their respective decks. At the end of that player's turn, all heroes in the battle zone may discard as many cards as they like, and then heroes may shuffle their trashes into their deck. This mission can be accomplished on turn 1 with 3 players if they discard their hands, and it only gets easier as you play. As cards get destroyed, one-shots get used, and you just do your thing. Get this late enough, and it might as well be a free reward. Flip the mission and you get Chronoist. This is another awesome ally. At the end of your hero's turn, they, and another hero, may play a card. If neither hero does this, then he deals 6 damage to the target of your choice. So either you and a friend get a precious card play, or you deal a nice hit. That's pretty good. 2 extra card plays can go a long way towards setting up or damage blitzing. It will let your hero get useful quicker, or deal tons of damage. He's more reliable than Lucky Break, and has damage that can rival the T-Rex. Though by the numbers, Lucky Break can get more things done. I am giving Chronoist a 5 because of his easy mission and excellent reward. And our last mission is to Hope for the Dawn. This mission isn't hard, just a bit bothersome. To complete it, you need 2 cards with powers in play. At the end of your turn, you may put cards back into your hand. If you place the 2 powers into your hand, you are good as gold. You set aside your guns and have a nice chat. Your reward is your own Devastating Aurora. Side note, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the only card that shares a name with a separate card. This card is a lovely one that replicates what the original did, aka blow up all the villain ongoing cards, all 3 of them, destroy all environment cards, and then, for good measure, have the environment deal all the villains 6 damage. Note that the environment does the damage, not the heroes. This can be significant in some situations. First, it won't get damage boosts from effects that target heroes. Second, payback damage won't hit anything because the environment isn't a target. And third, and most aggravatingly important, if you use it to kill 4 or more Aeon men, it will not flip the Source of Foes shield, since it isn't a hero doing the destruction when the shield specifies that. Believe me, I found out the hard way. Once the damage is dealt, you then place this card on top of a hero deck of your choice, meaning that not only are you going to be able to use it more than once, you can use it pretty frequently. 6 points of area damage is pretty nice. I see this card as a better version of the Bloodsworn Exhibition reward, since it actually does damage, has no target cap, controls the environment, and doesn't require a power use. It isn't going to be the best card to use all the time, but it can get stuff done. I mean, consider if you place the Aurora back on your own deck after playing. You can draw it on your next turn, and use it again if you please. This has the right concentration of usefulness and frequency that it gets a 3 from me. So that was the last mission, and this is the last video of this guide. If you've seen all the videos, then I hope the cumulative hour and a half of your time has been useful. And if not, at least entertaining. Take care, friends. Just so you know, it's storming like mad outside. So if it shows up in the audio, I'm sorry. Oh, and I lost power for about 5 seconds earlier today. So if that happens again, who knows? I frequently have to choose if it is better for Cursor to get hurt or her hero. Wind squall. I chose quite a day to record, didn't I? So similar strategies for completing this mission are similar. I'm very good at writing scripts. So that was the last mission, and this is the last video of this series. Dang it, Wind!